Okay, today you're going to learn about tax, tip, markup, and discount. And I typically don't solve these problems with proportions, but I'm going to do my best to show it with proportions because I feel like consistency, again, is key when doing all these percent problems. All right. I want you to go ahead on your own, do a quick write. How would you describe the process of ordering positive and negative decimals in least to greatest order? So you do this quick write on your own, and I want you guys to pause this video, think about it. Okay, when you come back, I want you to check what you wrote. So how would you describe the process of ordering positive and negative decimals? For me, I would first order my positives. These numbers go least to greatest. And while I'm doing that, I'm also going to look at place value. Second, I'm going to order all my negative numbers because my negative numbers are left of 0. I'm going to look at place value, but remember we have to look at place value in the opposite light because everything that's larger is actually smaller on the negative side. So you could elaborate a little more on that. All right, so we're going to go straight into tax, tip, markup, and discount. So we can do these problems like part over whole equals percent over 100. We can take the whole and we can multiply the percent, but we would have to change it to a decimal first to find the part. So I'm going to teach it with proportions. We're going to find the tax and tip on this first slide. The first one is sales tax. So we have a $75 bill with a 6% sales tax. And we want to also find the total payment. So this is going to be a two-part problem. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find the part, which is the tax, what the dollar amount is in the tax. And remember, anything that's written as a percent goes on the right-hand side over 100. So I get 100x on my first set of cross multiplication, and I get equals 450 on the right. I divide by 100 on both sides, and 450 divided by 100 tells me that the sales tax is $4.50, but I want the total. So that means I have to take my initial payment plus my tax, and I have to add them together to get my total payment of $79.50. So there's a two-part answer here. Next, let's say we have to find tax and tip. We sit down at a restaurant. We have a $12 bill. So I'm going to find the tax first. So I'm going to take part over my whole bill equals the tax amount, which is 6%. So we put it over 100. I cross multiply. I get 100x. I do 12x, gives me 12 times 6 gives me 72, and I divide by 100. So I now know that my tax is 72 cents. So I take my bill plus my tax, and I get my total bill so far, but I've yet to add in my server's tip. So I do this again. I take my part over my whole. Now, some people choose to do their tip on their whole bill, which is the $12.72. Some people do tip on the subtotal. I tend to do it, and I'm going to teach it where you just do it after you figure out the tax. So I'm going to put $12.72 underneath. I know my tip percentage that I want to give is 15 over 100. So then I set up my proportion. I cross multiply, get 100x. I do $12.72 times 15, and that gives me 190.8. I divide by 100 on both sides. This is going to tell me my tip from my total. So I take 190.8 divided by 100, and it tells me, sorry, I'm doing this on my calculator as I go, it tells me that my tip is 1.908. Remember, I need a round, so I'm going to round that up to $1.91. I'm going to add that $1.91 onto my $12.72. So $12.72 plus $1.91. My total bill is $14.63. So there's a three-part answer here: tax, tip, and total bill. Tax, tip, and total bill. So lots of working parts. All right, we're going to go down here. We're going to work with markup and discount. So I'm doing kind of one example of each. With markup, that means I'm actually driving the price of an item upward. So when a lot of clothing stores buy things, they buy them for a certain amount. They mark the value of that item up because they need to make money. So in this one, we have a $17 item. That's our whole. We want to know what the markup is. That's our part. They're going to mark it up 15%. So I write the 15 over 100. And I'm just finding, I'm back to the directions. You have to find the selling price. So after I find the markup, I'm going to find that first. So 100x equals, I multiply 17 times 15. I get 255. I divide by 100 on both sides, and this is going to tell me my markup. So 255 divided by 100. So my markup on the item, if I do 50, oh, and I did that wrong, guys. Let's back up. Let me fix that. I read it as 15%, and it's a 50% markup, so let's fix that. Sorry about that. So I put 50 over 100, so that's going to change a few of my numbers. 17 times 50, it's going to be 850 over here on the top. So when I divide 850 by 100, my markup is $8.50. Sorry, misreading. So I know my markup is $8.50, but I want to know the sale price. So I know markup has to tell me I'm adding to that price. So I'm going to take $17 item. I'm going to add my markup value of $8.50, and that's going to tell me the total sale price is $25.50 right here. Discount is the opposite. So in their second problem, we're going to take a discount and then find the selling price of the item. So I'm going to do my part over my whole, the discount over what I know, equals 15%. This one is 15%. So 15 over 100. I do 100x. I get 136 times 15 is 2,040. I divide that by 100 on both sides. And I'm going to get my discount of $20.40. This isn't my final total because I have to take a discount away. I'm going to subtract it. So I'm going to take 136. I'm going to subtract $20.40, 136.00 minus 20.40, and my final total on my bill with that discount is $115.60 right here. So that's one of each. Now what I want you to do is we're going to kind of go through another one of each together. And these notes take a while, so I might skip the turn and talk to your neighbor one. So I want you to pause. I want you to try the sales tax and then the tax and the tip problem. And then I want you to come back and I want you to check what I've written down so that you can, formally see like what parts did I not understand. So now you should be back. You should have taken several minutes. This might have taken you 5 to 10 minutes to get these two completed. And we're going to find the total payment on these bills when we apply sales tax and then sales tax and tip. So part over whole equals percent over 100. I get 100x equals $15.99 times 5, $79.95 divided by 100. And I know that my sales tax is going to be 80 cents because you should have gotten 0.7995 and you should have rounded it up, okay? So after you do that, you add sales tax on. This is a plus. So I'm going to do $15.99. I'm going to add that 80 cents sales tax to it because cash registers round up for us. We just don't see it. And my total bill is going to be $16.79. This next one's the double whammy here. We have to do both tax and tip and add everything up. So part over whole equals, and yes, you can have a sales tax that is a percentage with a decimal. I get 100x, and then I multiply 6.8 times 72.40. I get 492.32. I divide by 100 on both sides, and I get 4.9232, which leaves me with $4.92. That's my tax. I'm going to add that on to 72.40. So I do 72.40 plus 492, and my bill right now is 77.32. And then I'm going to go through and figure out my tip. So tax and tip are both additions onto your bill. So again, I do part over whole equals the percentage for the tip over 100, cross multiply 77.32 times 20. I get 1546.40. Divide by 100, and my tip is going to be, divide that by 100, and I get $15.46 because it came out to 15.464, but I just left the 6 alone. And then I have to add that back on to 77.32. So I take 77.32 plus 15.46, and I get 92.78 as my final bill. It's a lot of work, so I'm just going to let that on the screen here for just a few seconds. Hopefully you're taking the time to really look through and make sure you understand these things. Obviously the notes will be online, so you can go back and watch anything if I went too fast. Okay, now we have our next slide, which is markup and discount. Remember, markup we're still adding, discount we're subtracting off our total. So with markup and discount, it's just a two-step process. We're still doing part over whole to find the markup, percent over 100 to give our percentage. Once again, still cross multiplying. 48 times 70 is 3360. Still dividing. The nice part about all of these is you're dividing by 100 every single time. 3360 is the markup on 48. You're going to add that to the 48 to find the total selling price. Always look and make sure your question, you're answering it, and the total selling price is $81.60. Discount, remember we're taking it away, so still part over the total price, still percent over 100 with the cross multiplication. It's probably getting really redundant at this point, but that's what I want. I want you guys to remember how to do these problems so that it just becomes second nature on how you set them up. So we're getting a discount here. So we're taking 1199.60, dividing by 100 to find out my discount. It does come out, and I'm going to show you this one. We need to round that. So the 6 bumps the 9 up, which bumps the 9 up. So our discount's going to bump all the way up to $12 full dollars. And we're going to take that $29.99. We're going to discount the 12, so $29.99 minus 12, and our final sale price is $17.99. Okay, if you need to go back and look at these, remember I'm using all proportions. I'm not using multiply by a decimal. All right, we're going to skip this one, and you guys are just going to get some time to work on your classwork because you also had to grade weekly review and do bell work. So I want you to have some time with some guided help.